Okay, thanks everyone for coming out and being with us today. It seems that this is just all that we do here at Central. Just a couple of weeks ago, dedicated the Throckmorton Center for Allied Health, a dedication out here. I don't know what we have on for next week, but I do know one thing, students. If I were a biology student, if I were a science student, I would always be asking if we just couldn't have class out here. The view is absolutely gorgeous. It's a little before my time, but as I understand it, we had a couple of alums that loved us very, very much. Fortunately, we still have one of those alums, Dr. Robert and Anna Mae Hodge, in 1985, donated this property. I think it is 62 acres. Is that right, Paul? 86 acres. Oh, wow. Okay. Donated this land, and we've been searching for higher valued use. And you know, as it turns out, there is no higher valued use than our students at Central. So in 2013, Professor Dana Morris and Professor Paul Pornaluzzi came to me and they said, we have this idea. We would like to build an outdoor classroom. Folks, students, did anybody participate in last year's Bio Blitz out here? That was a really cool event, you know, I thought. But they came with the idea, and then today we're out here at this idea. So we went to, actually Deanna Cooper, went to Anna Mae Hodge, and for those of you who know Anna Mae, she's about this tall. She's spry as a cricket, and as every bit as feisty as a cricket. So we went to Anna Mae and to her sons, Robert and Richard, with this dream that Dana and Paul had for this space out here. And now, just a very short time later, we're able to enjoy this property. So I want to thank a family that is incredible, that is incredibly inspiring, and loves this place very much. So none of the Hodges could be here today. Anna Mae has not been in the best of health. Our thoughts and prayers are with Anna Mae. Let me mention another legacy that Anna Mae has. This year was the inaugural competition for a student to submit artwork for the President's Christmas card. That idea came to my wife, Judy, because of Anna Mae Hodge. If you ever get the opportunity to see her collection of Christmas cards, her entire life, Anna Mae has painted an original Christmas card that has served of the cards that she sends out all over the country. I have seen the entire collection. They're all gorgeous, and in honor of Anna Mae, that is a tradition now. So 50 years from now, you will see that Deshaun Stokes had the first Anna Mae Hodge Christmas card competition. So with that, welcome, another great day of celebration for Central Methodist, and I would like to invite the person who first thought of this idea, Dana Morris.
Thank you all for coming. This is like a dream come true for me today. After I completed my bachelor's degree in wildlife biology, I thought that I would become a wildlife manager at a wildlife area much like this. But then after I completed my graduate degrees, I realized I really enjoyed research and teaching, and I never dreamed that I'd get to combine all of those passions into one. And I'm going to probably read off of my notes because it's been a busy day and I think it would be better that way. So now with Anna Mae's generous gift, we have the opportunity to share the joys and the challenges of doing habitat management and research with our students. And we're going to use our equipment to experimentally manipulate the habitat out here. We'd like to restore, convert the grasses that are out here to native warm season grasses. We'd like to improve the forest. We'd like to establish a small wetland area at the southern end of the property. And our students are going to help us monitor the response of flora and fauna to those management techniques that we do out here. And they're going to share in the design and the policy making and the recommendations for the site as well. And already they've helped us collect baseline data on biodiversity, like what we did at the BioBlitz last fall. They've identified different interest groups on campus who would like to use the property and how we might incorporate those uses. They've studied the mammals, and in Dr. Pornaluzzi's conservation biology class, they've made recommendations about the habitat management plan that should take place out here. Students are even involved in mapping the trails and the features and the boundaries of the site using a GIS system. And Dr. Elizabeth Gold's students in psychology of the exceptional child have been out here to study the site and make recommendations for increasing accessibility for physically and developmentally impaired visitors. So, and I'd like to invite you to look at some of our poster. That represents a lot of the work that's been done out here. Dr. Gold's class has some really interesting recommendations that many of our biology students might not have come up with. Things like making sure our paths are wide enough for accessible trails and providing sensory stimulation experiences. We're going to be incorporating plants, native plants with specific textures and smells for different types of visitors. And then we also plan to train work-study students and essentially have them be our area managers and our ambassadors for the site. And many other faculty have already expressed interest in the site. It provides this great opportunity for a case study and encourages creative problem solving for students. And the sanctuary, it provides unlimited opportunities for active learning. Dr. Elliott has been using the site for years. Dr. Paul has also used the site for years. And it provides this opportunity for active learning, service learning, interdisciplinary collaboration, and community outreach. But this additional gift makes these opportunities a reality because now we have a space to collaborate and coordinate our activities, and especially we have the means to improve our habitat, not only for the wildlife, but we think that improving the habitat will enrich the experience for our visitors, and we'd like to enrich the site for greater enjoyment of our CMU community and our Fayette community. And also in honor of our generous patron, we've created what I hope is just phase one of the Anime Hodge Wildflower Garden. It's out here by the pavilion, and luckily I think we might be able to make our way out to there to see it in a little bit. So we've incorporated some native plants with various textures and smells that we think will delight visitors and hopefully pollinators both. So I hope you'll take a moment to enjoy the posters, enjoy the refreshments afterwards, and we hope that if you're adventurous enough today, we'd gladly take you for a walk, or you can come out on a drier day to explore further. But with that, I'd like to introduce Alan Anderson, who's been involved with our BioBlitz. He's been involved with the site through multiple courses. So here's Alan.
So nowhere near as elaborate with wording as Dr. Morris is going to be, but like you said, my name is Alan Anderson. I am a senior here at Central. I am a marine biology major, and I've had the privilege of being involved with this area for about a little over 2 years, almost 3 years now. I've had several classes that have used a sanctuary. The first one that I really started using the sanctuary with was mammalogy, and so our big thing with mammalogy was getting a baseline, like she was saying, a baseline layer of what all is out here, because we want to manage this area. We've wanted to manage the area for a long time, and so we need to know what's out there so we can kind of start getting a direction. So that was our goal, and so we pulled in data from botany classes and ornithology classes, as well as ourselves, to kind of get this baseline overall biodiversity data for sanctuary. So we can start to use this data and manage it and track our progress over the years. And so, as she was mentioning, we kind of had a big BioBlitz day or a few days there, where we as mammalology students, we personally took students, adults, anybody who was willing to come out and learn. We took them on walks around the property, checking our little traps that we set out for mammals, and so that was kind of cool. I felt important in a way because I was being asked these scientific questions from these small children that were looking up to me, and so that kind of gave me a different taste of what science is about. Kind of added in a different realm to biology, and we also kind of created a field guide as a class. I was the most creative of my peers in the class, but we kind of collaborated and came up with a general field guide for what all's out here, so that when people show up, they can possibly take a field guide and have an idea of just what is out here. So the next class that I really used it for was environmental science. Took that with Dr. Paul, and we proposed the management plan as a class, and so we collaborated. We split into groups. I was part of the biodiversity inventory team, and so we pooled the data from the BioBlitz, individual research to kind of help create a management plan, not just on the biology level. We incorporated criminal justice people. We incorporated several different classes in different academic realms to kind of come up with how are we going to use this area, not just for biology, but for secondary kind of purposes. So we looked at habitat accessibility for handicapped individuals, and we looked at kind of just different areas like that. And that was I think it was different for all of us in the class because none of us had really had any experience with that, except for probably Dr. Paul, because he's kind of a wizard. But so that was new for all of us, and it was a great experience that I will never forget. And currently I'm in ecology, and we are using this habitat quite a bit. We're collecting data, soldier beetle data on the goldenrod out there, which I don't think is really yellow right now, but it was a few weeks ago. We are measuring trees for a forest ecology lab. We did a biodiversity lab out here where we took a 2 meter by 2 meter plot, measured herbaceous plant diversity as well as arthropod diversity. And so we're collecting this data in hopes to use it in the future, not only for now for class and grades and labs and stuff, 'cause that's what you do, but for future research and to see how this plot of land has progressed over the years and how our management plan is being effective. So like I said, not only is this for classes and labs, but it makes life a lot more fun and interesting because some of the looks I get are a little crazy from my baseball coaches when I tell them that some of the things I've been doing in lab, maybe I'll be a little late to practice today because, we were painting grasshoppers pink to look for recapture rates and to get an overall idea of how many grasshoppers are out here, kind of things like that. But it also gives the students, the faculties, professors, anybody who's willing to be a part of this sanctuary, gives a chance to be part of something much bigger than ourselves. We're doing data can be collected for research, for undergraduate research, graduate research, possibly postdoc, who knows. This is in place to possibly help students like myself graduate, because research and internships they're hard to come by as a student, and this takes a lot of weight off some of the shoulders, I can imagine. It also helps us get real world experience doing science. And this sounds kind of basic, but it's hard to get that real world experience of actually going out, testing the scientific method, getting data, writing up a lab about it, stuff that all biologists need to be able to do that we don't get enough practice with. So that's a biggie for me as I'm possibly moving forward into my biology career. And it gives us a chance to give back to the community because without the Hodge family, we would not have this area, not have this opportunity. And we're passing on this legacy of teaching the importance of biology, all those kinds of things, to all ages, not just to the small children that came out for the BioBlitz, but for more mature adults, for anybody who's willing to come learn. So the sanctuary has had a huge impact on me It's given me memories, like lots of things give me memories in college. Going out with friends, parties, etc. Extracurriculars, sports, clubs, fraternities, sororities, all those things give you memories, but like I said, it's given me real world experience that I can use in my future. And I can use this field work and the work I've done with the scientific method to better myself as a biologist, as a person, and that's something that cannot be replaced, second to none, first-hand experience. So it's given me confidence that I can be a successful biologist and use these concepts that I've learned in class since I was a little boy, and I'm currently using them, and I can kind of see that progression, and I hope that I can use the skills I've learned with this sanctuary in my future. So let's just celebrate this amazing plot of land that we've been given and the new equipment that Dr. Paul gets to work with, and for the dedication of this sanctuary, and I'm certainly very happy and blessed to be a part of it. Thank you.
From the original gift, 1985, to this 2013 gift from Anna Mae and her sons, Drs. Robert and Richard, it's going to make a lot of learning possible out here. Thank you folks for joining us today in the celebration and the dedication of the Besgrove-Hodge Wildlife Sanctuary Outdoor Learning Facilities. Thank you so much.